Is the INFJ always single? Why is it? Seems as though I talk to a lot of INFJs. I've been on a lot of these the chat groups that are on Facebook and some of the Instagram, and there's a lot of chat groups that say that a lot of majority of INFJs are single people. I mean, sure, they find love, they find romance, they do find it. Some even get married and have spouses that they have for the rest of their life. Some have found true love, but there's a good majority of the INFJ that's very single by choice and by default almost. And I want to talk about that today. How you doing, people? This is Tom, and this is the INFJ Experience. Being single as an INFJ. Well, the thing is that INFJs, of course, we're the introvert types, and as we know, I mean, we're just susceptible to our batteries. I mean, that's a known thing. We've discussed that before. That the introversion in us always keeps us wanting to be have our inner battery, our inner energies to be recharged. While obviously the extroverts receive their energy from stimulation from crowds of people or from other people, I should say, not necessarily a crowd, sometimes big crowds. But the INFJ is different. And being that we are the introvert types, now being involved in a relationship, a romantic relationship, actually causes more of actually depletes our batteries, our energies even more so than just social interaction would. Being that if we're in a romantic relationship, I mean your love, your heart, you're pouring your time, your effort into somebody. You're giving your all. You're actually giving your heart. And being that we're givers, we're feelers. We put it out there early on in our lives, especially. I mean, but bottom line is, no matter what, whether or not you're maintaining your heart, whether or not you're giving your heart, or you're reserving your heart, your energy is always going to be depleted by that. In fact, if anything, the energy level is greater, like I said, than just social interactions. I mean, so our relationships are always depleting us in that way, and it seems as though, personally with me, I mean, I've had some affairs. I was married and divorced for 20 years. I've had romances in my life. But a lot of the times when I was involved in a romance myself, is that there would be the love affairs and the romantic part. But personally with me, they never seemed to last long. I mean, my relationships only lasted 2 or 3 months. And because it's almost like I for what I said is that I always seemed as though I was depleted. I'd put myself out there, the time that you'd spend with your loved one, and the romance it seems to always, it depleted me quite a bit. So as much as long term as I wanted it to be, I ended up kind of pulling back and retreating a little bit over the course of the weeks that led up to it, because at this point there, my mind is like, we're very autonomy as well. We're very independent minded. We're independent spirited, and our mind usually has to be very one monotone of a mind as well. Now, this is my own observation. We have that monotone mind that we have to be in charge of our own mind. Like, we're very possessive of our thoughts and our focuses and how we think. And if somebody else enters our life, and that somebody else kind of starts going into our mind, our thoughts are all around them constantly. It does, at first, in the beginning, it might seem nice. It might seem pleasant, is a loving thing, but over the course of time, our minds are going to start churning like that with somebody else in our mind all the time. We're going to feel as though we're being almost taken over, almost invaded in a way, in our own autonomy, in our own world is going to be feeling like it's being invaded. Now, this is the way it is with me. This is my interpretation of how I've had it happen to me. And so, but bottom line is, the INFJ is just constantly even sabotaging. Well, not constantly, but one of the times is that a lot of times we start putting things up there as we start feeling these depletions, our mind being, our autonomy being lost, and our time, our freedom is in jeopardy at this point as well. And a lot of times the INFJ starts being, we're depleted so much from our energies, and plus we have their autonomies being taken, and so our minds are always being churned because we're giving too much of ourselves in there, that we tend to try to pull back a little bit. We try to preserve ourselves. All of a sudden, we want to back off a little bit, back off from our mental, from our emotional connection, and so we're going to pull out of that, and maybe even hold back our love. We're going to kind of put the love is going to start dying. We're going to start putting a roadblock in that where we're not going to receive it anymore. We're not going to want to throw it out there. You see what I'm saying? So that's what happens is over the course of time with the INFJ and how it works. Now, these are my own observations through my own life as far as it goes. Like I said, there's been girlfriends, there's been plenty of times and opportunity, but with me, they're not the long term. And these are some of the reasons why. There could be a few other reasons in there, but people, we are the loner types. We are the lone wolves by default. It's in our program. It's just who we are, and not to say it's a perfect balance of that. It's not to say it's a perfect formula. Of course, some INFJs go on to have very successful long-term relationships and marriages and children. It does happen. It's not out of the ordinary, but there is a vast majority that seem to be the single types, and it seems to be a chronic thing, is to be a single. And being that also we have the whippoorwill soul. I had described that before, that the whippoorwill bird is a bird that has a unique mating call, is that the male will call at night over and over again, thousands of times a night. It will just repeat whippoorwill, whippoorwill, whippoorwill. It will just repeat it constantly, crying, trying to lure in a mate by its call. And it won't stop that until after mating season or until it finds a mate. So we have that soul. So we're drawn to a relationship. We have that longing for a soulmate. We have that longing for a connection, for somebody, just one person that gets us, one person that figures us out, that we are in connection. And in turn, we figure them out. We complete each other. And so we have that longing. We have that want again. But when we find it, when we find somebody, that is, if it's not the connection, if it's a connection that's not exactly what we are thinking of perfection in somebody as well. Now, that other person in your life, there may be a couple of flaws in them. They may not agree with certain things, or maybe you didn't see them as, you start to find out things in their personality and their lifestyle that don't align with what you were projecting onto them. And so then that starts to, of course, tap into our perfectionism and who we see as our soulmate. We have a perfect image of our soulmate. It's almost too perfect. So we're right on track with that. So we tend to we overanalyze our own mates, our own romance, and so then when we find like small flaws and who they are, we tend to just start thinking, okay, we start realizing that it's not the perfection we were thinking. So at that point there, the INFJ goes into almost like withdrawal mode. Back into almost like withdrawing to the bunker, but not quite. But in the relationship, the emotion, the love, the draw that they had for this other person starts to be pulled back. And the INFJ has a way of closing off their heart. Just as quickly as they can fall in love, they can fall out of love. It's something that's kind of disturbing to most other types, that we're able to do that kind of thing, that our hearts is open, as pure as they are, and we want to reach out. It's just the opposite. When they want to retreat, what the INFJ will pull back and be just as harsh, taking it back. So yeah, we have it's a very complex and difficult situation in love, and I think a lot of times INFJs may go through enough relationships in the course of their life to realize that they see the pattern. They've repeated it time and time again, only to have similar results, and so they finally just kind of accept their their solitude and their alone time, and that's a lot of times what happens with most of the INFJs. Well, I said a lot, people. That's another monologue. Hopefully, again, I'm Tom. Please subscribe to my channel and give me some thumbs up on this video, and leave some comments, and I'll make some more of these. Well, thank you again, people, and we'll see you on the next one. All right. Thanks. Bye.